evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is Thursday, the 6th of January, and this is your Chain Reaction Report. So, couple of topics tonight. Number one, we keep hearing about how people are dissatisfied with Joe Biden's performance, okay? One comment was made that he's being distracted by COVID. People, I need you to understand something, okay? And we're going to talk a little bit about the beginning of this video before I get into the second half of the video and talking about January 6th of last year and what it means for your future. We want to talk right now about Joe Biden, okay? Now, I look at all politicians not through rose-colored glasses, but skeptically. But I want to say this about Joe Biden. Joe Biden inherited a fucking mess, okay? He inherited a COVID-19 pandemic that he certainly couldn't do much about at the beginning of his transition period because Donald Trump refused to cooperate with the transition. And unfortunately, Donald Trump was still the president and was still mishandling COVID. Now, Donald Trump is certainly not responsible for hang on a second, as of today, 855,291 people dead in the United States. He's not responsible for all of those people, but I'm thinking, had he done things the way he should have done things, there could be a couple of 100,000 fewer people dead in this country, period, end of story, okay? Donald Trump mishandled the COVID pandemic. Joe Biden inherited the COVID pandemic. And when people say he's being distracted or his time is being taken up by COVID, part of his job is taking care of the public health. If he were not doing that, he would be remiss in doing his job. This is his goddamn job, to clean up Donald Trump's mess, which he has been steadily doing. And by the way, Joe Biden has not even been president for one full year yet. He was inaugurated and put in office on January 20th. Today is January 6th. He has overturned a number of ill-advised executive orders that Donald Trump governed with. He governed almost totally with oppressive executive orders. He's been overturning those. He has, first of all, without any help from the Republican Party at all, got everybody money at the beginning of his term to help with COVID. Okay? He has been trying to get the Build Back Better program off the ground, which would help all Americans. Honestly, all Americans. And it's hard enough when he has to deal with the GOP, which is not interested in helping America. So I don't know. I don't understand where you think you're going with this. But if you think you're going to vote for the Republicans instead of Joe Biden because you're unhappy with Joe Biden's performance, you better think twice, and we'll get into that too. The Republicans don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about your financial situation. They're not going to do anything to help your financial situation. In fact, Donald Trump added $7.8 trillion to the deficit, and a large portion of that even before COVID hit. He literally cut the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%, which takes significant amounts of money out of the budget that could be going to other things. Understand what I'm saying here, okay? Get a fucking clue. So what does Joe Biden do? In the interest of good sportsmanship, he gets the infrastructure bill passed. And what happens? Not only do the GOP want to stymie the Build Back Better program, but so does Joe Manchin, who might as well be a Republican. And I believe Joe Manchin ought to be primaried and run out of office in West Virginia. Now, does he care? No, he doesn't. But when people say to me, well, that seat could go Republican, it might as well. Joe Manchin has done absolutely nothing for the Biden agenda. He has done absolutely nothing before Biden was president, except act like a Republican and very often side with the Republican Party. I dare for someone to write to me. Here we go again. I never hear from anybody because there isn't anything to write about. I dare someone to write to me at factivist.project@gmail.com and list for me the bills that the Republicans have passed and written and legislated that have aided the common American person, the average American, not the millionaires and the billionaires, not the corporations, but the average American. So what happens? The infrastructure bill gets passed and they bring the Build Back Better part to be passed later. Nobody on the GOP side is going to vote for that because they don't vote for any money to be given to the people. They only vote for money to be given to corporations and to the war machine. So what happens when a guy like Joe Manchin takes that position is it makes it harder for Joe Biden to get anything done when he can't even rely on his own fucking party to back him. And by the way, all the rest of the corporatists are ready to work for Build Back Better. All the people you consider corporatists, the Nancy Pelosi's, that's already been passed. The Chuck Schumers, he's going to vote for it. The sticking point is the GOP, and the sticking point is Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema. End of story. So let me just say this to you. You want Joe Biden to do a better job? Get up off your fucking ass. Get out and vote in the midterms and keep the Republicans out of power. Give Joe Biden a clear majority so he can get something done. Because right now, anything he tries to do, unless we can get the Democrats to vote to get rid of the filibuster, is going to be met with a filibuster. If he were to try today to pass gun legislation, the filibuster would be used and the gun legislation would be dead in the water. It is hard to do a decent job when you don't have a clear majority. And by the way, since when do the people get absolved of any responsibility? You have a responsibility as citizens as well. Get on your Democratic legislatures back and get them to move on this stuff. Get them to move on getting rid of the filibuster. Push them. You know what? Politicians don't make change by themselves. Politicians make change when the people stand up and let them know what they want done. Don't talk to me about the left being activists. No one's an activist posting on Facebook. That's a crock of shit. It's a bitch session is what it is. The American people are as culpable in all of this as the politicians are. You want Joe Biden to do a better job? You need to do a better job. You people crack me up. You want to have more say in government? You don't even read bills. You don't even vote. This is the only country in the world that has fewer than 50% of the people go out and vote. And you know what? It's always the right wing. They always show up and vote. It's the left wing that doesn't bother. Stop your bitching. Get up and fucking do something. That's number one. Number two, the left is not only asleep on all of that, but the left is asleep on this January 6th shit. You're all ignoring this. You all don't care because what? It's a year old, you know? Just like if a magazine article or a news story is over a year old, whoa, it's not legitimate anymore. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing. I'm going to tell you some statistics here. And then I'm not going to make this a long video. I'm tired. I was tired last night. I did not sleep well. I have things I have to do. One of which is I am working right now on an article for inclusion in the blog that will outline all of the news stories surrounding January 6th, all of the video, all of the evidence. And it will be put in effect in a way that's easy to look at factually. And then I will post it. And I'm hoping to do that by the weekend. All right? It's a lot of work. And you know what? I'm certainly going to say this. If I'm willing to do the fucking legwork on it, y'all better damn well be prepared to read it and share it. I'm going to remind you one more time. What happened on January 6, 2021, no matter what the GOP and the right wing tells you, was not Antifa, was not Black Lives Matter. It was a bunch of insurrectionist treasonists following the Orange Jackaloon who convinced them over months of propaganda that the election was stolen. They were not peaceful patriots. They were not trespassers. You are not trespassers when you go in there with zip ties looking to kidnap people and you're beating officers with poles and you're committing violence with battering rams. That is not guaranteed under the First Amendment. The judges have made that quite clear. Not only, right now in office, there are 221 Republicans. 149 of those 221 Republicans voted to overturn the election. 149. We already have 149 in office who are treason makers. New statistics out. 57 of the people running in the midterms were people who participated in the riot on January 6th. Let me repeat that. 57 people running in 2022 on the Republican side were also people that showed up on January 6th and invaded the Capitol or supported the invasion of the Capitol, one or the other. Do we understand that? Let me also tell you that the man who manages 8chan, which is a right-wing social media site, the man that they believe actually is QAnon, Ron Watkins, who operates this enterprise, this vast QAnon conspiracy bullshit from the Philippines because there's no law and regulation there. That man is raising millions of dollars to run for public office in Alabama. Why in Alabama? Because he knows the crackheads below the Mason-Dixon line buy into this shit wholeheartedly and fully. If you do not think having 149 insurrectionist legislators already in office, another 57 in various positions around the country, and Ron Watkins, the guy they propose is QAnon and who runs conspiracy theory sites as elected officials, is not alarming to you, then I'm going to suggest to you you're as good as brain dead. If you are on the left and you are ignoring this, there is something wrong with you. There is truly something wrong with you. The right knows how to organize it in a way that the left can only dream of, and they never stop, and they are relentless. And that is why they are where they are. But I will tell you this right now. If you think they're out there to protect the rights of anyone who isn't white and MAGA, you're out of your fucking minds. And finally, let me say this. There are 855,291 people dead from COVID as of today. There are 5,488,884 dead worldwide. There are 59,450,674 cases of COVID active in the United States right now. And worldwide, that number is over 300 million. We as a group do not owe anti-vaxxers any more debate. The anti-vaxxers go out there and make statements like the Candace Owens and the rest of the nitwits, the Joe Rogans. They go out and make statements without any evidence to back up a word that they are saying. It is not up to us to debate them any longer. It is up to us to just call them out for what they are, which is bullshit artists, crackheads, and people trying to build their brand and their popularity. And the more fucking outrageous they can sound, the more the American people suck it up and buy in. The American people are sponges for stupid talk. It is now no longer our responsibility, even though we have all the data on our side, to argue with these people anymore. It is our goal now to just call them out for what they are, which is bullshit artists and liars and medical misinformation specialists and purveyors of absolute propaganda. We don't owe you a venue. We don't owe you a free speech zone. We don't consider medical misinformation and outright lies about the vaccine and outright lies about people not really being all that sick. Oh, I'm so sick of the people with, I'm not vaccinated and I had COVID. I'm past the worst of it. It's been an experience, but I'm managing to get through it. Well, you know what, asshole? Get a clue. 855,000 people in this country have not had your goddamned experience. That's your goddamned experience. And in the meantime, God knows how many people you may have infected along the way. That is not your constitutional right either. The people in this country, the people on the left, had best wake up. The chatter about Roe v. Wade wasn't distraction, as the women on the right convinced you back in 2016, between 2016 and 2018, because here we are with the advent of Roe v. Wade being taken away. We have voter repression going on all across this country. There are over 300 bills now, many of which have passed. I will put all this information in. And then you're going to tell me that the right wing is protecting everybody's rights? You must be fucking kidding me. They're overturning everybody's rights while you fucking smoke crack and dream. Wake up. I'll talk to you later.